As a child, I used to love cartoons, and not just random cartoons. I used to find a deeper meaning in everything I watched. One of the shows that really moved me, really made me who I am today, is the show of Nickelodeon's Avatar, The Last Airbender. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest that you watch it, because in one of the episodes we have the concept of the light and the dark force of the cosmos. The light, as we all know, is ever empowering and encourages freedom, while the dark always tries to control through fear. Ra and Vatu. Ra was the light and Vatu was the darkness. That's what I compare to ego and love. In the last episode, in this episode 2, we shall be speaking about ego, love, their different aspects and how they tend to show up in relationships, coming up in today's video. So we were talking about the traits and the nature of ego and love and how they emerge in relationships. What we have to be aware of. So let's get right into it. So the next thing that we have to be aware of when we are dealing with ego is that the ego believes that being close to someone, being intimate to someone, eventually turns out to be a trap. That's because the function of the ego is to plan for the future, is to make sure that the future is secure and sound for us. It's not really trying to hurt us, but we do get hurt in the process. So what it does is it tells us constantly that intimacy is a trap, that eventually we'll get locked and we can't get out, and our life will be at someone else's disposal, and we have to live with all that. Whereas love understands that companionship or any kind of relationship is nothing but deep, passionate friendship. After all, love understands that after all, we are just walking each other home. Our final destination is elsewhere. We shall talk about that in our later videos. Our final destination is elsewhere, and we are here to learn. We are here to experience things, experience life. Hindu scriptures have stories, interesting stories, where gods and deities from the heavens, they come down to earth in order to experience the life on earth, because that's how beautiful it is and that's how meaningful it is. That's why we are here. But our final destination is elsewhere. We are just being friends in the journey. So nothing is a trap. Everything is about sinking to other people, trying to give our best to understand what is it that other people require of us and how can they help us. And in due process, we understand that we are here. Our ultimate goal is to provide for others, to be there for others, to help others, and therefore eventually love gives all compassionately and loves other people for who they truly are, right? Once you start practicing love, it takes a lot of time, but once you start practicing it, you lose the idea of expecting things. You lose the idea of controlling things, and you just have the idea of being there with the person or the people you love. Another thing to notice is that ego deals with life as if it is a mathematical problem. It's always looking out for bigger, better deals because it fears that, it thinks that there are material things, there are certain things, material or immaterial, that provide one with happiness. And hence, the ego is always looking for bigger, better deals. The ego is always saying, where can I get a better treatment? Where can I get a bigger apple or a bigger bite? Right? Ego is very mathematical. Yes, utilitarian, but it also backfires a lot of times. This idea of bigger, better deals turns into greed, and it shoves people into the rat race of being better than other people. Whereas love is always grateful. Love doesn't look for what's missing, because when you do that, missing things is all that you will see. If you have a small home and you look at what you don't have, you'll know that you don't have a big home. You'll get focused on that, and you'll start having this emptiness inside you, and that emptiness cannot ever be filled. Whereas love looks at what it has, and it tends to nurture what it has. It tends to look after what it has. It tends to be grateful for what it has. If you have a small house, love tries to make it a home. Another thing is the ego always constantly is thinking about the past. It's almost like it's keeping score of all the injustice that has happened to you, all the achievements that you've received, all the accolades you are yet to earn. It's constantly invested in the past, and it demands. The ego demands. It tells your mind, I want this. And then for the next 10 years, you keep running, looking for that thing. When you get that thing, you'll be happy for a couple of days. But again, that hollowness, that emptiness starts to hit you. And then the ego says, I want this now. And then you start running after that. Whereas love understands that life is like the bubbles formed in a flowing water. In 2 seconds, the bubble will blow up and it will be nothing. Instead of investing your time and energy in the past or the future, what it tries to do is to stay in the present. Whatever you have in the present, if you have love, it accepts that love with all the gratefulness. If you have sadness, it accepts the sadness too with all the gratefulness in the world, because love knows that sadness also is an integral part of being, of experiencing life, right? Similarly, if ego is invested highly on the body, right, and it has demands of other people's body, but love understands that body, just like everything else, will soon go away. What will not go away is the state of being in love, is the state of being in bliss. So that's what it tries to practice all the time. So these were some of my experiences about ego and love. If you think you liked this video, do not forget to press the like button. If you think that good things are happening in Sound Health Solution, do not forget to press the subscribe button. We'll make sure that we'll come up with more videos like this for you in the future. Let's create a community of new age, enlightened, fresh open-minded, receiving and giving human beings. Until next time.